Call meeting to order, 5:03 PM, select board introductions first, please.
Scott Moore, Select Board.
Carrie Keeman, Select Board.
Dan Webster, Select Board.
Ed Fournier, town administrator.
Chris Roy Jones and town resident.
Leo Piet, town resident.
Dan Rondo, Finance Committee.
April Gabriel, constable.
Doreen Hill, a wannabe.
Town resident.
Yeah, town resident.
All right, then we have Deb, our town clerk, with us online. All right, changes or additions to the agenda. And next, any public comment? Go ahead, Rick.
I just had a few questions, trying to ask them all at town meeting. So that I could try to have some information before. So my first, and most of these are dealing with the town garage, the request for the town garage. One thing I wasn't 100% sure is that, because I've watched all your meetings since, for the entire year. And not getting a strong sense from the board. Does the board fully 100% support the cost of a new garage and the maintenance of that and the foregone revenue that we would have?
Well, we've talked about it a number of different times if you've watched the meetings, but I don't think we've ever come out and said strong support or not.
Right.
For the project. This has been something that's built for a number of years now, built momentum. You remember the history of it, right?
Right.
And so when it was first proposed, it was the thinking was a couple $100,000, a few $100,000 to build a building. It was my first year back on the board then, and I said, that's just not true. You can't build a building like that for that. And so we agreed to take it to the town meeting. And we did a poor job. We didn't have enough time, we didn't do enough work. And so the town sent us to do a better job with blueprints and engineering and all of the things that we need to do. And so we've done that. As far along as we think we should go without expending any more money prior to the town saying that they want the garage.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
You had, what was it, the appropriation 200,000 to move forward, do my work, do all of the
Right,
work that was
right, which is a
necessary.
lot of money.
Right, to bring forward something that you could actually discuss.
Yeah, so we're gonna have prints and are we gonna have an easel or in that?
Yep, yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, I'm working with Roy to get everything.
So you can see what the building would look like and all the costs. Have we voted or said individually whether we support that or not? We haven't. Do you want us to do that?
Well, to me, when you're involved with a situation where you have an impression that it could be 200 or 600 or maybe $1 million, and then if we come in at 2.5 million, I haven't heard anyone at that table go, whoa, 2.5 million. It's like, yeah, that's okay, we'll spend 2.5 million. And I really haven't heard any reasoning as to any, for the purpose of it, what it's gonna do. Is there any cost savings, or is it all, right now, my calculations would show easily 300,000 a year, pretty close, 250, 300 to just have the place, because of the foregone revenue that we're gonna give in our investments. And when we put 2.5 million in the building at a 5-6% return, is gonna run us pretty close to 160,000 right there, 150 that we're losing. Then the increased insurance costs, the increased heating costs, the increased maintenance costs, it's gonna be pretty close to a 200,000 a year expenditure. Or a loss of revenue that we don't have right now. And so that's pretty dramatic. To me, I listen to you guys every time you have a meeting, and we'll have discussions about little small amounts of money, but this is fairly significant. Just that lost revenue and, you know, what, so the question, that's why I'm asking if the board truly supports this. And kind of why, you know, because I really haven't gotten that sense at all.
So just speaking for myself, not speaking for you two, you can jump in whenever you want. When it comes to those, the bigger deals, I try to reserve myself a little bit. Because it's up to the town. It's sort of like your stance with your foundation sometimes, whatever the town wants to do, right? They give us the money or they don't give us the money. It's a little bit the same with that on that garage for me. There's pros and I can put down pros and cons on, and I have for myself. You're going to have one. So whether you build one next year or 10 years from now, which one do you think is going to be cheaper? Probably the one now, with watching all these prices.
Right.
We have more equipment. When this was the garage here on Main Street, that was the garage. They had a grader and a truck, and they contracted services.
That's correct.
And then the town built the garage that's up there now because equipment got bigger, and I think they bought a loader and it sort of took it the next step, but they were still contracting services. When the town made the decision to not contract services anymore, you don't have the infrastructure for it. You had to buy a lot of equipment, but you didn't expand on your garage on that footprint. So this is mostly just cold storage down here now, and it's kind of falling apart. There's got to be a lot of money put into that building to keep it.
Well, that was one of my questions. What's happening to the other two buildings?
Well, we kind of have to wait to see what this answer is. I think probably you'll just decommission it. You know, you might keep it for cold storage for some amount of time.
We still have the buildings though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to make those decisions though, you know, as a town,
But just still maintain that building.
what you want to do with it or not. You know,
Tear it down.
it's going to get to that point past and it's cold and you're not doing anything. And so the real issue is that footprint group. When you went away from contract services, now you have 4 plow trucks. We just took possession last week, right?
Yeah.
So now you have 4 plow trucks instead of 3 because we're keeping the backup that we weren't going to get any money for. We have the backhoe. We never used to have a backhoe. And you can't just let all the stuff sit outdoors forever. You shouldn't. That's a lot of what went into this. So Jim, and Dan's been sort of the point for a lot of this work. Have done a great job in looking at the other towns that have built, what their costs were, what they got from that. And then all the work that we've just done up here, and the price tag, I think you're a little heavy on it. I don't think it's gonna be 2.5 personally.
No, that was the other question. I mean, it rounded quickly into 2.5 from 2.1. And then it was 2.2, and then also I will just put it in 2.5. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, and that those are the.
So
I don't call it flip it, but at the same time, it seems like if we're not careful, you know, it just seems to happen. I mean, our school is a good example. You know, that there we were supposed to get a building twice the size, and we got a half the size, and we still spent about 3.1 million.
Yeah.
On it. And it just seems like that can kind of happen just by osmosis or whatever. It just seems to occur. And
so the reason that number, well, there's a number of reasons, but we didn't get to the point this year because we don't know if we're going to get the vote, right? If they're going to say go ahead and build us.
right.
So to take the very next step is to get all the contractors together bidding.
Correct.
And driving that down, and we didn't take that step.
No.
And so in order to be safe for the town to understand what's the potential cost of this building, I wouldn't want it to be the other way.
But let me propose a concept here though. I mean, say you had said, just say they said 2.1. You said, well, we'll do 2 million. That's reasonable to ask for. and we're gonna make it work into that 2 million. Whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna make our building work into that 2 million. As opposed to now having 2.5, now there's not a lot of requirement to do the legwork to really make it, fit, because you're over by 300,000-400,000 of what was roughly estimated by Roy. And that was the part that got me kind of like, whoa, this is kind of escalating very quickly. Originally, I thought 1.5 million too. So is there a possibility that it can get down to 2 or less than that? Or, I mean, again, like I said, with the foregone revenue and the operational costs and the insurance, it's gonna be extremely, quite a bit expensive to be storing anything, a piece of equipment. I mean, if we're putting 200,000 a year, 100, or say 150, in 2 years, that's equal to buying what? 1.5 dump trucks or 1 dump truck? And that's in 2 years. In 5 years, you could buy 2 dump trucks. So, I mean, if they were to stay in a lean-to or some other way of storage, there has to be some type of payback. If it was your own business or your own home, you would say, or unless you won the lottery, you would say that there's gonna be some reason as to why we're gonna, build an extra garage, but we don't have nothing to put in it. If you told your wife, I want to build, an extra door on the garage, you say, well, what are you gonna put in there? Well, that's gonna be my man cave and I'm gonna have stuff in there, but you have to have some substantiation as to why we're looking at something like that. I know the Barton one was what, 2 million, 2.1? And Barton is what, 3 times the size of, with head count
Yeah.
of our town. Irisburg had 1 garage. Well, no, they have 2 now because they did purchase another garage, but.
So you're sort of highlighting why we haven't taken a stance. We really shouldn't say it that way, don't care. If the debate and the conversation in the town with the work that we've done, that's what we were asked to provide and produce to the best of our abilities. And that's what we've done. This debate, if you said it was $1 million, some people are gonna vote no, and they have the right to do that.
Right.
If you said 3 million, a lot of people are gonna vote yes, because they have the right to do that, so. Everybody should come in as educated as they can. We've pushed everything out. We've had the meetings, we've got the paperwork done, and I'll take a look at it. We'll answer any tough questions.
We haven't had any meetings associated with the garage though, not that I'm aware of.
A number of them.
Public meetings?
Sure, this meeting right here.
Well, yeah, not to where the things that I'm asking where none of those things were discussed at those meetings. What size is it? How big is it? What are we gonna do with the other garages? That was never discussed at those meetings. The other question I have too, didn't we get a $400,000 efficiency grant in the town? And a lot of that was to go to the garages as well as this building?
Yep.
Did we do that?
Well,
I can answer that. Yeah, we're working on that now. The contractor, the general contractor is gonna come and look at everything. They've been here once and then present at a meeting. So there'll be work done here. And there'll be any work done at the old building, but with that into consideration that there could be a new building, so you're not wasting money in the old building.
Are you able to transfer that grant money into this new building? Are we able to?
No, it's for these buildings. As far as I know, I can look into that.
Well, that's what this was wondering. If we're gonna put monies into a building it's like the other garage, but if we're not gonna be using it or utilizing it in the same manner, putting a couple $100,000 into efficiency or a new furnace or an insulation, if we're gonna have this other garage, is that gonna be,
That's why the
and
new
I haven't heard
garage,
any discussion about what was going on with
the
that.
new garage will have to be taken into consideration, right? And decide where you allocate the money once and I've told the contractor that too, that, right now we don't know if it's gonna be built, so it's kinda hard to say what to put into that.
Right.
I don't think the
but
MERP
you
grant
won't
can be used for new
No,
building.
we're talking about the garage
Yeah,
up there,
yeah.
but you still.
No, but what I'm saying is that the efficiency improvements that you applied for that we haven't done yet. If you do say they did approve a new garage, that funding can't go towards the new
I don't
furnace
think
now. Okay,
Right.
that's what I was wondering, so. And they're saying some of the funds were supposed to go into this garage potentially as well.
Yeah, it was for the three buildings, you're
Right.
gonna present on that, what would be the best for envelope sealing and all that, so.
Right,
Because if you still use the old building, there's still stuff there, I mean, that needs to be fixed and the ceiling and all that, so.
right. So we would still, right, so now we'd have three buildings to maintain. If it was approved. Right? For storing,
Depending on what you do with the.
For storing
the
equipment.
building, yeah.
that works outdoors. I mean, I've been around heavy equipment a big part of my life, and I know that it does help to have it inside, but at the level that we have to expend to keep them safe, I guess, or keep them inside, it just seems high, but like you said, that's a discussion we can have there, but I wanted to, so basically, I'm not sure who's driving, I still don't understand where the driving force is for the new garage, where that driving force is. Cause I was at the town meeting that you're talking about. And I listened to all of your meetings and I've not really heard where that driving force is coming from.
I think our vibe has been supportive of what we talked about at town meeting, the plan to present to town meeting. That's kind of way what I've been supportive of is this presentation that we're going to give to the town. And then I think these conversations about whether we should or shouldn't are going to evolve.
Well, I just wanted to understand if it's something, if it's the board really supporting it, then to me, we would need a lot more legwork, or after the fact, to say it was approved. We really need to button down a lot more, be very prudent about how we would spend that money, not to say, well, we're gonna build a $2.5 million garage. Try to really look like, you're working on trying to develop money for the future, but when you spend $2.5 million of that future money and no cost savings, actually cost loss from that $2.5 million for the next 20 years. That's pretty dramatic. I mean, that's quite a dramatic, turn, it seems like.
I'm kind of the choir you're preaching to.
Okay,
So, of course, that's all obvious, right?
I would think, right?
Right, so I'm acknowledging that's the
Right.
obvious.
Because the 2.5.
The driving force, going back to what I responded to you in the beginning, the driving force was that select board 3 years or 4 years ago, we're going to build an addition to the garage.
Okay,
They had already made that decision. They already had the money in special reserves.
right, of course.
I said, no. You can't build a garage like that way in the municipal rules. There's a lot more moving parts to that. It's not like building your own garage or your own man cave at home.
Right,
And so that 6 months or 9 months of those conversations going back and forth, and I was strong then, as I always have been, about not spending money out of those reserves. I want to eliminate those reserves so that you must do this and communicate with everybody and go to town meeting on large expenses.
right,
That slowed it down, but at the time I said to the other two, I'm not opposing the project, I'm opposing the process.
Right.
So if there's a need for a garage, then let's express what the need is, and then let your town see it and vote on it. It was this time of year, or maybe a little bit earlier than that, at that time of the discussion. So what went to town meeting was, a flop, and I raised my hand and said, vote no. Because we haven't prepared anything for you
right,
for the unforeseen expenses and all of the plans that would need to go into building this. Right? So that's where are we coming from? That's where we're coming from. The town said,
Okay, that's what
then
it's
give us that.
right,
So we've said, okay, we have enough money in a reserve account for those expenses. If everybody's in agreement here, that we'll expend that money from the building reserve, which is what we've been doing. But you kind of got to figure out, which is what we've done, how far do you want to go there? You can keep spending money. You don't wanna line up contractors and have the vote be no, right?
Person.
And so you wanna be first at the trough for building season, you wanna get contractors that have open schedules that can actually bid competitively. You need all that stuff, but we can't do that work unless the town says, go ahead and do it.
That's right.
Then we can make all of those other plans in order to get the best for your buck up there. But you can't do that right now.
No.
You'd be wasting.
Well, like I said, my biggest issue was this how it grew so quickly to, to the sides. And that made me nervous. I'm like, it feels like we could get out of control pretty quickly. It would be good if we can, if say it were approved, to try to stay on the way lower side of it than to try to move too much on the other side, And so
That can be totally up to the town, right? They can change that number.
right, yeah, we can.
Probably a little foolish to do that, but whatever.
Right,
And we would have to accept that and then figure out. What do we do with that? There's a lot of expenses and changing blueprints and then.
well, we didn't go through the whole 200,000, did we?
No, I don't know where we're at right now.
No, not-
We're well below.
And the number is just a proposal, I know you know that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's based on like timing and other, increased costs, so I think it's important that the voters get what the number is.
Well,
Right.
well, that's why I'm here before the meeting.
That's what the planners put out there. right?
To be able to bring forward
Right.
kind of, what's going on and what position the other two buildings are at, what's gonna take to kind of do those as well, because they do, we all need kind of an informed decision to say, okay, well, if we don't do any new building, we are gonna have to build a 700,000 or $1 million addition on this, we're gonna put 400,000 in that, we've got 300,000 grant money, help pay for the upgrade in the heating system.
So if I were still here on the board after town meeting. That would, and they said, go ahead. Everything about this conversation changes. Because you then have to make a whole bunch of decisions. What do we want to do with that building? The whole bunch of things, and you have to bring your road foreman, and you have to have really concrete discussions, special meetings devoted to that. Right now, we're just not there. You can't. I'm not willing to spend all that energy and have to vote me on. But of course, you'd have to do all of that stuff. The little bit of feet dragging that we've done on this efficiency stuff is in part some because of that.
Of course.
So if you're gonna go full bore and build the big addition or the big building up there, you have to have that healthy conversation, but I would probably be saying decommission this. Don't put any more money into it.
Right.
That's what I would be saying, but that doesn't mean that's what they're gonna be saying. And other people,
I
but
understand what you're saying. You're saying,
you have
you
to,
wanna do all of these what if scenarios.
you can't, you go crazy.
Well, you can, but again.
No, I can't.
Right.
I feel like doing the other way.
You should have been an accountant because you want concrete answers. And sometimes you can't live that way, but you at least have a general idea of what would happen.
We did 2.5 million. That's a general idea. Even though it's not gonna be that, I really strongly don't think so. And I don't think you guys do either with the proposals that we saw. It would, but I think what Roy was doing, we didn't dissuade him for that and we didn't persuade him to do that. It's his thing.
Right.
But he was, he's done this before. He's done this a lot.
Right.
And he's trying to think about, probably normal towns need to know how much they're gonna be bonding, right? You don't wanna take a lower number and be in trouble
We're
later.
not putting any doors on.
That's not, right, that's not our problem. We're not gonna bond. We've had those discussions.
Right.
But we do have excess cash revenues that we've got sitting in wait to see what's gonna happen here. Some of the decisions that we made in our budget this year were based on that, which is we don't know if that garage is gonna get built.
Right.
So we better make sure we've got some cash held back with these budgets, which is what we did. So you got us half of it probably already cash ready.
Right.
We put some items in there to move money from a couple of different reserve funds. That is not new money. It doesn't matter. It's moving the coconut shells with anticipation that they potentially could say, yes, build it, you've just slid hundreds of thousands of dollars into a reserve account you can use for it.
Mhm.
If, you know, it's not in another account.
Right.
So, I mean, we've sort of built the foundation for the town. For them, if they want to build it, your board can then go get it built. With a whole bunch of more work.
Right, okay, that answers the question, okay.
Yeah.
That, like I said, those are the two biggest ones, if we're gonna lose our efficiency, if we'd already done it, I'm like.
No, but you
now
could
we can tear
probably,
it down, or-
no, but you could probably slide efficiency money from there, here, or somewhere else.
Or maybe into the church.
You
building,
could
I don't know.
probably slide some of that stuff around. I
Yeah.
don't believe you could put it into a unbuilt building yet, but I don't know that.
But we do, like I said, the churches, before you give them back the money, maybe we could do something there,
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
thanks.
some of the money, some of the efficiency stuff's been done to this building already.
Yeah, I was aware of that.
Yeah, that and, there was supposed to be a pre-bid meeting, but that got canceled for some reason, because we were anticipating getting some bids for town meeting day. In anticipation of maybe breaking ground in 2027 if it was passed. But I don't know what happened to that.
For the new,
Yeah, the new, remember Roy, they were all supposed to meet up at the town garage on a Friday or something, and I think the weather canceled them. Like the pre-bid meeting.
Well, yeah,
Well,
so
lost.
we're not getting bids now.
Right, yeah.
We're just gonna go with what Roy gave us for the town to see
Mhm,
on the high side, on the scary
Yeah.
side.
yeah, like the.
rather than getting
like-
bids for,
Yeah.
make it,
Yep,
That's
so it may
all.
cost this much, but we're hoping for like grants and that type of stuff too.
That's why I ended up having a number for you, because we were gonna go
Yeah.
with Roy's to
Roy's number, yeah.
proposal to present to the voters.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Thank you.
I know that's not a
Thank you.
perfect explanation for you, Leo, but that's that's the truth. I mean, that's where we're at.
Right.
And to keep swinging at it in other areas before the town. And I don't think it's a bad idea to have the big number either. For people to do that.
Oh, I see, right.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, you can scare, right.
You know, it's all conversation that should happen on town meeting day, so
Yeah.
people are. Something you think of, I might not think of, or you might think of something different, or.
I would a lot rather be a select board member in the fall of 2027 that can come and say. It came in 200,000 under budget. Rather than say,
You're like Scotty on Star Trek.
yeah,
I'll take 6 hours, he gets done in one. you know?
rather than say, we need another 200,000.
Right, yeah, well, he.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I'll start, Leo.
Yeah.
All right, any other public comment? Okay, we'll move on to 89 Main Street demolition invoice. So you have in front of you there the original bid on December 1st, 2025 for the FEMA buyout. Actually, it's part of FEMA, but it's more through Vermont Emergency Management tearing down 89 Main Street. And I gave you the bids, and that's the one you decided on. So the demolition's complete, and we received an invoice with a requested extra amount from the contractor, and there's some notes on there for $2,250. They requested that much more over the bid amount.
Oh, it's in
So
here.
you have that from the warrants in there.
I'm running away. Have you seen it?
Well, you'll love this.
Yeah,
it took them more than they thought, and they're asking for more.
Then the bid amount.
2000 and.
Sure.
2,500.
So. Our contact with the state. Where are we at with that?
So I let the state know because they're waiting too for this thing to be processed.
Right,
And I gave them some numbers of everything we would have to turn in and then a budget that they had originally given me. And they gave them the latest financial document and the lady was supposed to look at that and I tried to contact her again today. I haven't heard back, so. she did think it was, possible that if it was there, that they could add that on. But she didn't promise until she looked at the numbers we had, so.
Have you followed this one, Leo? Yeah. So the demolition on Main Street, the contractor got the work done and submitted for payment. How much more?
2,500.
$2,500.
2,250.
Over the bid. My take on that is, it's not town money we're dealing with. It's state money. Right? I don't know what their rules are, but if we were to approve that and spend it, and the state says no, you paid for it. Not the state. So I wouldn't be that carefree with the tax money. I would say that's why we were waiting to see what she said. If she didn't, if she was gonna approve it, then we wouldn't care, right?
It's a no-brainer.
I wouldn't care. But because she hasn't yet, and because Rainey, he doesn't have, he hasn't gotten any money.
Correct.
And so we gotta get him money. So why couldn't we? What'd Deb do?
She wrote for the original amount, which,
She
Original
did the
quote.
original,
Original.
which is what I'm thinking,
mhm,
and approve that now, and if it worked, that your partners at the state approved the extra, why couldn't we do another bill pay?
Can, as far as I know, I mean, that's.
I mean, I wouldn't balk at that, but I mean, for us to spend town money on a state project, we're already losing tax revenue.
and paying the water bill.
And paying the water bill.
I kind of have a hard time with more than the bid. I understand he had stuff that went wrong. But it's not a huge amount if the state approves it. And it's still under the other bids. If it went over the other bids, then I think we have pushback, but it doesn't, it's not anywhere near the other bids.
If the state pays it, it's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
It's kind of looking forward when we give quotes. It may be a learning lesson. The lowest bid may not be the one that we want for many different reasons. Maybe they just didn't, they're not understanding, because this is way under bid, right?
Way under the top of that.
Maybe they didn't see something, or it could be quality of work. I'm not saying these people are very, I do business with them. I have nothing bad to say about them, but with other jobs, it could be, rather than taking the lowest bid, it may be not the thing to do. And it's not, yeah, it's town money. They do stuff for the town, so I'm not totally opposed to paying them if we had to pay it out of pocket. I think why can't we wait and see what the state's gonna do? I mean, that's,
Yeah, approve what the bid is, because we
Yeah.
know that's already sent to the state, and then, just see what the state does, and then decide from there. If they say no, then the board might agree to pay some or all of the difference, or none of the difference, or
another
but
discussion.
definitely get him his money,
Yeah, he's got.
the bid amount.
He's been over there, he's out with fuel and time,
Mhm. Payroll.
dump.
Mhm.
I think I heard us all say the same thing, kind of we got there, which is like, we should make payment as Deb has
Mhm.
highlighted. And follow up with Rainey. About the discussion, and we'll wait on, he'll get his debt money, the base money, and then we'll wait upon the state's response. And if it's affirmative, then we'll take care of it quick and in a hurry. And if they say no, then Dan will put it back on the agenda And we can have that discussion around, do we wanna do all of it or something in the middle, or do we wanna,
Yeah.
for any number of different reasons, we can all come up with.
So if the state's okay with it, you're good with just paying him for that, right? If the state wants to pay the extra, you're
Yeah.
good with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's their money,
Mhm.
All right,
but that was what the state approved.
correct.
Leo, are you good there?
Yeah, the only question I would have is if anyone asked them to go beyond anything that was in the bid itself.
No.
Okay,
I think, he got into some problems with the foundation. He didn't anticipate the big granite and all that stuff. I think is what he had said in there. And I get that.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Stone foundation and face with concrete, walls are 30 inches thick.
Okay,
So when we get around, to our bill pay, we can just,
sure.
or actually, we should probably motion that.
All by itself,
Well, won't it be,
We should
you
probably,
only wrote it out for,
right, the bid amount.
but the contractors made a special request. And put that in writing, and so we should probably make a decision specific to it.
To the 2250, right?
Yeah.
okay,
Do you know what I mean? You guys?
Yeah, we're making,
Dependent upon state decision.
making a motion to approve the original amount pending state recommendations on the additional invoice that they gave us. Or table that portion of it until we hear back from the state.
Right.
Pay
I
the-
wouldn't say anything about pending. I would
Yeah,
just,
just,
yeah.
yeah, approve the,
The base contract
yeah, approve
that
the
does,
bid contract. Pay the contractor for the work that he's done.
and he did a great job, you did a good job.
Yeah.
For the time of the year and everything.
Yeah, it looks good over there,
Yeah.
even under survey.
Yep.
so we'll motion to pay the approved contract amount for 24,850.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
For clarification, Mr. Chair, this is coming from what part of the state, VEM?
Vermont Emergency Management.
Yes,
Okay, and I would like to have a copy of that invoice. If you would, please.
we can do that.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Next is the Agency of Transportation mileage certification. This was from the last regular meeting. There was a question, Carrie, you had about airport road changes. But you and Melanie sent me a document showing we were good, and then I okayed everything with Eric Polk from the state, from the Agency of Transportation, and we're good. Everything's accurate for you guys to sign that. Needs to be signed by the three of you. I think there's a box to check, and then it goes to Deb.
So you all set,
Mhm,
whatever
yep.
you're concerned.
yeah, the airport road stuff was added last year.
Was this?
This is
year?
last year's, yeah,
Because of the classification
the
difference
classification difference.
from 3 to 2,
Mhm.
gotcha.
Yep.
Did
Okay,
you need
and
it?
so you didn't know if that had been,
Been done already.
gotcha.
Are you good with that?
Yeah,
You were
yeah, no.
here, so I didn't know if you want some
No.
more background. on
No,
it.
no, she was right to ask that question, that's a good one, that just got changed.
So do we motion this or we just sign it? Motion to approve or accept or?
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely will motion it.
No, these are the changes that are on there.
Yeah, those are last year's changes.
Yeah, the only one you'll sign is the 26 one. I just gave you those, one Carrie had and one Melanie had for reference there.
Sign right here.
I guess so.
Well, we signed it last year across. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter as long as we sign it, I guess.
Oh, there was only one line last year, just like 4 this year. Make a motion to approve the certificate of highway mileage year ending February 10th, 2026 as presented.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Thanks, Ed.
if there are no changes recorded this year, place an X in the box. No changes.
And this same thing?
Last year's with the change,
Okay,
yes.
so that needs it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Deb's still with us.
Snoozing,
Deb, thank you for your help with that matter.
You're very welcome.
All right, next up is the town meeting lunch. Got a lunch for the voters last year. Just some notes on it. I talked to Deb, it went good. Voters were happy, she was happy with everything. I guess you had sandwiches and dessert. And it was the whole thing went good, so I just, for discussion, just want to see if you want to do it again and see how much you want to spend and everything, if you did, that you discuss it, and if Deb may have some notes on it.
we had West Side sandwiches last year, right?
We did. I was thinking maybe this year branching out a little bit, especially if it's still gonna be very cold like what it has. Maybe either do some big plates of like chicken pot pie or something along that lines versus a sandwich. Again, that would be all cost wise. So it depend on what you guys allocate for the price, and then we'll just make the food work within what you allocate for the limit.
Big buckets of stew or something, or chicken noodle.
What did we allocate last year, Deb?
I think last year you did 1,000, but or it was either 1,000 or 750, but we ended up spending 780. So maybe it was 750 last year.
I don't remember a lunch at all last year.
You were in.
Must be,
Yeah, West Side sandwiches and maybe some cookies or something.
yeah.
So Deb, am I right in hearing you say if we just give you money, you take care of it all? Good for you.
Well, Ed and I.
She's already informed me I'm involved.
It's called teamwork.
I'm fine with it. I
Mhm.
think it's, I think in our conversation with it last year, was saying it's our meeting, right? It's the town's meeting, and the town should be, taking care of that. We shouldn't rely on others to take care of your meeting for you.
So I know years past, I remember when my kids were little, parents club,
Yeah.
everybody got phone calls.
Yep.
Can you make this and can you make that? And it's hard to do and hard to coordinate, and
Yeah.
so just having it all done.
Catered.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So how much you want, Deb?
Let's go with 1,000.
That's what I was
Rounding up, Leo.
Since it-
See how that works?
Mhm.
I'm fine with that.
thinking.
Yeah.
Me
We'll
too.
make it work.
All right, so motion item. Folks.
Motion to allow $1,000 for catering for lunch for town meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Deb.
Thanks,
Thank
Deb.
you.
Make sure you get a plate this year.
Even if it's to go.
All right, next is the town highway road salt.
Is that mine?
Yeah.
I've talked to Nathan about it a couple of times, and he actually called me on this today. There's a shortage, we've all been watching the news, right?
Mhm.
So my question around that a number of days ago was, what am I hearing you say? Am I hearing that?
Do we have plenty?
Right.
If we had it delivered, we approved it, so.
Right. Yeah, so are we looking for money or are we looking for salt, right? We're looking for salt, not money. He's well below the contract to deliveries that we approved.
Mhm.
The issue is, it's just he can't get it, and he thinks he's about 3 weeks out right now on the next delivery, but he does have, I'll get the number wrong, but I think he said 40 ton. So he's been really paying attention and being a little sparse, and he wants us to know that the reason you're not as clear as you typically are is because he just can't run out. So he's adding a little sand here and there, and it's been so cold that the sand, just blows off. They've done a really good job. They're scraping hard. They've scraped a lot more. I think they're doing double roots now, hitting it twice instead of once. So, I mean, that's where we're at. It's not a money issue, it's a salt issue. So,
It looks good by your house, but it's not.
yeah, it does. The sun hits there just right. So there's really nothing for us to do other than what we just did, talk about it. We are aware of it.
Let people know that.
Yeah, he's on it.
Okay.
He is using the sand in place where he can. Yeah,
All right,
so that's where you're at with salt.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
For other business, I put it in the packet there, I spoke to you a little bit about this, Dan, but for the, high water mark sign.
Yep.
Just to give you guys some samples to see what you'd like, and, it's important too that we figure out what marks. You mentioned the 27 flood, if there was somewhere we could get that on there.
Yeah. What other, we got last year, the year before, was it?
Mhm.
What was it?
Yeah, 23, 24.
Get those marks.
Cause Phil probably
Oh,
has
it's
those.
June, right? Was,
Yeah, it was
or
the same
July.
exact day.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with that, just some feedback to them on do you like the 18 by 24 aluminum sign? That's some of what those are.
I like the signs with the pictures on them of the flooding to show what was going
You
on.
wanna make any notes on that and get it back to me, I'll send it to
Mhm.
the people that presented here last meeting.
So one little step back, I'll ask the money question. Are we paying for this or is this a grant situation?
They just, it's not really a grant situation, they can pay for everything and take care of it, it's part of this.
Okay.
What is it, Silver Jackets program with the Army Corps of Engineers and the states involved.
Right.
The cost of the town is maintaining it.
we do have to
Okay.
put the pole.
We have to put the pole. in.
Right, you have to put it in, I'm
Right.
sorry, and then, if
Right.
say it tips a little or something,
Right.
somebody have to.
Right.
Maybe you add a little gravel, but that's the only cost of the town, they make the sign and.
So I think, and they've been here once.
Yeah, they looked at 89 Main Street. They're gonna come back.
One of you two should be involved.
Yeah, when they come back to
Both.
town.
So yeah, I made a note.
I'd like to be there when they come back to town.
Check it out, and then you guys could okay a spot with them and all that.
For a summer application, so put it in the ground. as well.
Yeah, I would think, you
Yeah.
wouldn't wanna try now, right?
Yeah, and we're talking the new vacant lot, right?
Yeah.
And that's sensible.
Yeah.
Away from the ice but it is the flood zone, so.
Mhm.
Maybe all in one swoop, cause we've got a little dirt work to do there
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Then I asked if they thought, should we bring this out so when people are walking by, driving, and that's when she said, no, we'll come back up and show you.
Okay.
Perfectly where it should go, and then you guys would okay it.
Just for you to know in advance, I'm gonna defer totally to you guys, right?
You okay the spot, I'll find the marks. They need a mark where the water level was. And they can put it anywhere. There's a mark on your house, they can put that on the pole.
Like
And they-
down by the bridge there, where that got flooded, the house got flooded. Off from Charlie Rockwell's.
Yep.
And yeah, that old lady, well, I think it's. Terry's sister.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they might have all the marks, yeah.
All right,
All right, thank you.
Yep. And they said we could put as many marks as we want.
Yeah.
if We can get the information.
it's all yours.
And maybe take a photo too or something,
Mhm. Yeah.
When they did the ice jam study, they got some photos from. Add some of the.
That's a good
older
idea in that.
Stuff, yeah.
In that book.
And the date you're looking for is July 10th of 2023, July 10th of 2024, and July 10th of 2025.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I know.
Last year
I
wasn't
know.
nearly as bad as the.
23, 24 and 5.
Yep, July 10th for all those years.
Yeah. All right,
Okay, I gotta look at the date here, what is it, the 16th is President's Day,
Mhm.
so for the next meeting.
Yep. So we had talked about moving it to the Tuesday. And then while we're in other business, GoGov. I met with them again last week and I've got some bugs worked out and glitches and I think we're up and running. So if we can get people to start downloading the app. So like when the warming shelter was open, that could have gone out when send out something that, you know, that we're low on salt, so we're doing the best we can. All that stuff can go out.
Just go to GoGov, is that?
Yeah, you can scan the QR code. And if you put in your physical address, like if you just go in and put in your name and your phone number and your email, you'll get email. You can choose what you want. You want emails, you want text messages, you want a phone call. It will go however you want, but if you put your physical address in, we can target, like when the bridge blew up, we can target this area, so if we have your address, you'll get that. Versus sending it to everybody.
Vicinity.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now, Carrie, is that something that we can monitor? If we see some residents have signed up, but they did not place that in there, that we can just place that in there for them?
I don't know about that.
Probably have
We'll have to look into it, yeah,
to ask them.
yep.
I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I wanna, they gave us all the files for the advertising and everything else. So if I can go in and tweak it, because if you're only have a phone, home phone, you don't have a cell phone, you don't go on internet. You can opt in for just phone calls, but you have to call the phone number. So we have a
It's a,
Coventry specific GoGov phone number.
right, so this is an option for town.
Yes,
So we shouldn't be in there adding people's profiles.
sure,
I mean,
yeah.
it's their option,
Yeah,
they
to
can
get
do
what
whatever
they
they want. It's like they
It's
can use the other service. whatever that
Educating
one's
them
going
on
from
what- Educating them on what the
Definitely.
benefits are if you do this,
Yeah.
and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going.
Good.
Right now, I'm the only one signed up.
Did you say on a date you were good with Tuesday or?
Yes.
Did you say?
Yeah, we had talked about the last meeting, or Tuesday. That works.
You're talking-
Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got that, and then this was just an oversight, when we did the town report, you guys thanked me and everyone that worked on it. But I just wanted to note that Melanie and you guys did a lot of work on the articles and the financial stuff. So just a thank you to you guys, I just thought that should be noted, and Melanie, how much work went into that, other meetings and stuff, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, yeah. Thanks.
And then you'll just see in there some mail, there's just one letter from Pike there about taking over Carroll, and then the other one is a thank you from the American Red Cross for last year's appropriation.
Oh, I'd heard Carroll Concrete and Calkins had both been bought out. I didn't realize Pike bought it.
That's a note to you just about saying they plan on working with the town and everything, so.
Apparently Pike's bought Newport Sand and Gravel, Carroll Concrete.
Was a Red Cross one in there too, that was a
Yep.
thank you for last year's appropriation. That's all I had, unless you guys have anything else.
Oh, that's it.
And then the first minutes are from 1:20, so it's Dan and Harry.
I'd rather remember
That was very sick.
I'd rather been here than sick. Knock on wood, I haven't been sick. Now, tomorrow I'll be sick, because I said it out loud.
And then the second one's 24th, everyone was here.
Yeah.
Motion to accept the select board meeting minutes for the town of Coventry, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Aye. Everybody good with these?
Mhm.
Scott?
Yep.
Motion to accept the select board meetings for the town of Coventry, Saturday, January 24th, 2026.
second,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
now we already proved twice from this.
Okay, warrants are there on the table.
Everything here?
In there.
Do we have a date from, on the town report for when it might hit the mail?
I can get you that, I don't know the exact date, I had to sign off today that everything was good. And that was due tomorrow, so.
Okay,
Deb, do you know the date? Do you remember from the
I was
contract?
gonna say, I thought it was either the 17th, somewhere's around February 17th.
Okay, thank you.
so give them 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have to receive that within 10 days prior to town meeting.
Yeah, so I know it's a little bit of a pest, but could you just reach out and try to get them targeted for that, for what their date is?
Sure,
So that we know it, and when people ask us.
when they'll be sending it, yeah, I'll find that.
The effort for us to know that they're anticipating it go before the legal deadline, all of that stuff we have knowledge of.
I know Matt did a good job staying on schedule, and that's what I did this year, because if you go even whatever a day over, then you get to the back of the line, so.
Right.
If you look at that letter, Ed, that you had, that you sent back to them, it had it right on that letter. As far
Okay.
as the time frame for when they were gonna be mailed out.
All right, I'll forward
already
that
have
to
it,
all
yeah.
you guys.
Thank you, Deb. Nothing crazy in here, Deb?
Nope, just the one you've already discussed.
And the book grant, so that's not very much.
No, and it all depends on just what they end up doing for books. That is something that they do periodically throughout the year. Last year, they seemed to streamline it more, just like once, and I asked them if they can do it more on a quarterly basis. This way, they don't end up losing out on funding, so.
So that's a price fund issue, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so David gets flagged on that.
Actually, the SU sends it to both David and I.
Thank you.
Yep.
So like it.
Motion to accept the warrant as presented.
Second.
Favor.
Aye.
Well, no, you can have one. and
Motion to
you
adjourn.
guys can have one. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Not bad, 6 o'clock.